In 1976, Syria sent tanks into Lebanon, not to fight Israel, not to liberate Palestine, but to stop the side they were supposed to be allied with from winning. To understand why Syrian tanks crossed the border, we need to understand what Lebanon looked like in early 1976. The country was tearing itself apart. On one side, the Lebanese National Movement, a coalition of leftists, pan-Arabists and Sunni Muslims, allied with the Palestinians displaced after the 1948 Nakba. Together, they had around 45,000 fighters. On the other side, the right-wing Christian militias, the Kata'ib, Ahrar and others defending the existing political systems. The Christians as well feared the Palestinian domination. They had around 15,000 fighters. They were outgunned. The PLO had heavy artillery, rockets, years of combat experience. The Christian militias had lighter weapons and less organization. By early 1976, the situation was dire. They lost the Battle of the Hotels in Beirut, the town of Damour fell in January, and leftist forces were pushing into the mountains surrounding Christian towns. The army had collapsed along sectarian lines, the right was running out of options. So here's the twist. You'd expect Syria, a country that backed Arab nationalism and the Palestinian cause, to support the left, and initially they did. But Assad was not an idealist, he was a strategist. He looked at what was happening and saw multiple nightmares. The partition of Lebanon, Israeli intervention, Pierre acting independently, and losing the Lebanese financial system as a resource Syria needed. If the left won completely, Lebanon could break apart. A radicalized state on Syria's border was dangerous. Worse, if the Christians were about to collapse, Israel might step in to protect them. So the calculation flipped. Syria would intervene on the side of the Christians. President Sleiman Frangieh, a Maronite, formally requested Syrian help. And behind the scenes, the US brokered the deal between Syria and Israel, the Red Line Agreement. Syria could enter Lebanon, but don't go south of Sidon. No aircraft over Lebanon, and no missiles near the Israeli border. Everyone got something. Assad got control, Israel got a buffer, and the Christians got a lifeline. On the night of May 31st, 1976, it began. Around 2,000 Syrian soldiers and 60 tanks crossed into Lebanon along three axes. From the north, Akkar Tripoli, through the center, Bekaa Zahle Beirut Highway, and from the south, Shuf Sidon. The next day, the 3rd Armored Division rolled in with over 200 tanks. The PLO and the LLM immediately rejected the intervention. Fighting broke out across the Bekaa Valley and the mountains approaches to Beirut. But by June 10, the Syrian advance stalled. Palestinian and leftist fighters put up heavy resistance. But Syria did not stop, they kept reinforcing. By June, they had 12,000 troops, August 20,000 troops, and September 30,000 troops. The sheer weight of numbers eventually tipped the balance. The results were immediate and devastating. They weakened the PLO and the leftists. Syria's presence was formally legitimized at the Riyadh summit in October. Arab leaders authorized a so-called Arab Deterrent Force, which was really just Syrian troops with a new label. Yes, Sarkis was installed as a president, and the PLO was weakened and the left was contained. And what was supposed to be a temporary stabilization force turned into a nearly 30-year military occupation. Syria came to stop a war, they stayed to run the country. The 1976 intervention wasn't just a military operation. It was the moment Syria became the dominant force in Lebanese politics, a role it would hold for 3 decades. Thanks for watching.